Hello everyone, Glendo here, and I'm just going to kind of give my 2 cents on what I think the gaming community has become. If someone came up to me right now and asked me to sum up the gaming community in 2 words, the 2 words I would pick would be civil war. And that's what it seems like, is that gamers are no longer uniting with each other, but instead are just there to fight with each other. And kind of the reasoning behind this video is a situation that happened a day or two ago, but most of the reason is it's not just this one situation, because this goes on every day on almost everybody's channel that's a gamer, or anybody's forum comments or anything like that. But pretty much the situation the other day was this guy, and I'm not going to mention his name or his channel because that would give him credit to anything that he does, and I don't want to give him credit to anything he does. But anyways, he went on to another gamer's channel that goes by the name of Cornshaq, which is a fantastic, phenomenal gamer. I mean, he's probably the best LPer on YouTube, seriously. The guy's just got incredible skill, very informative on his videos, and he's nothing but a good guy. I mean, he understands the concept of the gaming community and how we should be sharing our thoughts and love and tips and strategies about games instead of our hatred for one another and games. But pretty much this guy went onto his channel, and from what I seen on the comments, it seemed to me that he was jealous of Cornshaq's achievements. So he goes on to his channel and immediately accuses the guy of cheating. And anybody that knows Cornshaq and what he does knows that the guy does have the skills to back up what he does. I mean, the guy does charity events that, he just got done doing a charity event for liver cancer, a 72-hour marathon of all the Zelda games. Him and a bunch of friends did that. And he does live streams of some games and some runs every now and then. And he has submissions to the SDA, which is speed runs for world record attempts. He's done MagFest challenges, stuff like that. So the guy is a credible gamer. If you follow the guy's channel, which I'll provide links below, you know that he has the skills. So this guy just goes in and starts accusing him of cheating, this and that, and starts saying stuff like, oh, you didn't use both characters in the game, so you were cheating, you were using save states. And this guy is making himself look like a total jackass. And what happened is other people that respect Cornshaq and his accomplishments, and that's the key word here, is respect. And people like him want nothing but respect, and they're not going to get it doing what he did. But people that respect Cornshaq kind of got together and was all like, hey man, you're wrong. He's a great gamer. He does nothing but good for people. I mean, Christ, the guy's an EMT. And he does charity work, so he's nothing but a good guy. And this guy starts just commenting on everybody and calling everybody idiots and this and that. And there was another guy, Bruce. He has a channel, Bruce372, and I'm going to provide a link to that below. He is pretty knowledgeable in the PlayStation Home and has a great love for RPGs and fighting games. But anyway, he's stuck by Cornshaq's side, and this guy immediately starts, instead of like putting up a good debate or an argument, he starts saying stupid stuff like go back to Africa and stuff like that on another account that he came in and commented on. And it just sickens me, because things like YouTube and forums are a privilege. You gotta go back to the days of no internet. like the late 80s, early 90s, is when I grew up playing games. And back then we had no internet. So if we wanted tips and tricks, we had to go out and get the Nintendo Power and just hope to God that the game that we were stuck on was in that issue that month, or we didn't miss that issue that came out. Or we'd have to have a friend that actually sat down and took the time to master the game, and then we could ask him for tips and strategies. There was no, like, go on YouTube and check out, like, I could just type in a random game, like, I don't know, Blaster Master, No Death Run, and I can just see it all there in its entirety. Comment on the guy's channel, ask him for tips and strategies. He can hook me up. I could go to GameFAQs if I want and check out facts. I mean, there's all these things that you can do nowadays. We didn't have that back then. And the term gaming community didn't even exist. You said gaming community back then, people would be all like, well, what's that? Is that like a town full of arcades or what? Because there was no way for gamers to get together. And out of all this whole situation, I would like sticking up for Cornshaq and whatnot. Me and Bruce kind of got together and defended him. And through this experience, we as gamers united and both subbed to each other's YouTube channel. I thought his channel was great, and we would have never have had that without the situation that came. And we used YouTube to come together on this, and that's what it should really be used for. And it goes back to the Old Testament, iron sharpens iron. Not to get religious on anybody, but those words are true. Instead of going on his channel and insulting the guy about his achievements, he could have went on the channel and was like, hey, you're a great gamer, you got any tips and strategies? And he could have used a little bit of what Cornshaq knows to benefit from it. Or he could have been making friends or anything. I mean, it's strength in numbers. And that's the whole point, is unity. Back in the day, at least when I was growing up, gamers were always considered, like the geeky kids, the nerdy kids, whatever. And there wasn't a whole lot of us, and no way to get in touch with each other. Now there's a way to get in touch with each other and to unite. And we should be using channels like YouTube or forums to be doing that. Pretty much the key to forums and YouTube or to any debate or discussion is to come into it with an open mind. Alright, and a positive mental attitude. And it just seems like the gaming community nowadays is the opposite. It seems like a bunch of closed-minded people that just got done having bad days, so they go on their computer and do nothing but bash people's accomplishments and their opinions on things. The best thing you can do is to come into something with an open mind, because you're going to benefit from it greatly. You might learn something, trust me. I'll give you an example. A year or two ago, I was at a party, and I was talking to a bunch of gamer friends of mine, and we were talking about Left 4 Dead. And I have a friend, Josh, and he hates first-person shooters. Absolutely hates them. Thinks that the only good first-person shooter that ever came out was like Half-Life. And even then, he doesn't even think it's a good game. He just acknowledges that it could be a good game. And the type of games that he plays are PC strategy games. So you can kind of see why he doesn't like first-person shooters. So we're playing it at this party, and Josh, if I were to go up to him and ask him, like, hey, what's your thought on Left 4 Dead? He would be all like, well, I think that's a mindless game. You do nothing but put the crosshairs on a horde of zombies and just push the trigger button and they all die. And that's the whole game. Well, if Josh were to go onto a forum or YouTube and voice his opinion like that, he would get so much flack, it wouldn't even be funny. Now, when he says something like that to me, and I have an open mind and a positive mental attitude, I look at his comment and I put myself in his shoes, and I think, well, as a guy that only plays, mostly strategy games on the PC, I can kind of see what he's talking about. To him, that world would be kind of mindless, just put the crosshairs on an group of enemies and pull the trigger. In his world, yeah, it's like that. In my world, Left 4 Dead is a fun game to get together with friends and just shoot the shit, for lack of a better term, no pun intended. And that's, that would be my opinion. He doesn't see it like that, but I also see it as, how he sees it, as a PC strategy game lover. So did I argue with him? No. No, I didn't. I accepted his opinion. I looked at it through his point of view, and the conversation went from Left 4 Dead to great PC strategy games, and we had a hell of a conversation about XCOM and Master of Orion 2 and some of our other favorites from back in the day. It went from a disagreement to showing our love for video games. Alright, you can disagree with somebody and still be friends with them. That's what I'm trying to say. It's alright to have a passion for gaming or what you do, but don't have a hatred for it, for other people's opinions and thoughts and accomplishments. Alright? And like I said, YouTube and the forum should be used to bring us together. Like how I met Travis was through gaming, and Travis is one of my best friends. He's also the guy that does the remixes with me on the YouTube channel. But how we got together was he sat in front of me in math class, and one day I caught him reading a GamePro magazine, like he had it stashed in the math book, so it looked like he was reading the math book, but he was reading GamePro. Well, I seen him reading the GamePro, and I'm like, oh, yeah, another fellow gamer. Because I live in a hick town. I'm not going to lie. It's a small hick town. So back then it was pretty much me, Travis, and maybe 3 or 4 other people that were into gaming. But I met him through math class, him reading that GamePro, and after math class ended, I was like, oh, I seen you reading that GamePro, I can't wait for this game to come out, I can't wait for that, and that's how we kind of met, and the rest is history. I mean, the guy's one of my best friends. I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours playing games with him, and now that we have things like YouTube and forums, it's so much easier to gain friends like that. So much easier. And people don't use it for that, and it just saddens me. Like that guy that came on Cornshaq's channel, he's never going to become a better gamer, going on other people's channels and doing what he did, because he's not using it to benefit. So he's always going to wane in his abilities. So pretty much the whole point of this video is, instead of fighting amongst each other all the time, why don't we just try to have a little bit of unity and come together and make the internet and the gaming community a better place? Alright, I'd like to thank you guys for your time, and I'll see you in the near future. I have more videos planned for the channel and stuff like that. I just gotta get more time to do them. But I'll see everybody later, and thank you for listening.